Hi, I'm Noah, and I roast historical figures. Today I'll be roasting Speaker of the Arizona Territorial Legislature, leader of the group that passed the law that governs abortion in Arizona right now, and putty-faced predator, W. Claude Jones. Before I start, just be aware that I will be discussing some very upsetting things that Jones did, including harm that he did to children, so be aware of that before deciding whether to continue to watch. In 1864, Jones and the rest of the Territorial Legislature passed a criminal code that contained a near-total ban on abortion that, thanks to a recent Arizona Supreme Court decision, is now back in effect. Jones had no way of knowing that he'd be controlling people's lives 160 years into the future, but based on the way that he treated the women in his life, he'd be very concerned that the law was ever not in effect. Jones was married to 4 or 5 different people in his life, of whom one was 15 years old, one was 14 years old, and one was 12 years old. Abhorrent behavior, and also so gross that Jones knew at least 3 ministers who would let him do that. Jones was also an enthusiastic supporter of the Confederacy and actually wrote a poem celebrating the Confederate flag. As always, it's important to separate the art from the artist and say, yes, Jones was a monster, but the poem should be judged on its own complete lack of merit. Jones actually ran for the Confederate Congress before being in the Arizona Territorial Legislature, but was unable to serve because he was too busy being imprisoned by Union forces on suspicion of treason. Things are so different now. We still have people in elected office who try to overthrow the government. We just don't believe in punishing them. Jones was unsurprisingly a habitual liar, to the point where when he died, his obituaries mostly contained either false or unverifiable information. This was a man who would go out in public with children he was married to. How bad was the stuff he was trying to hide? Jones spent the last 18 years of his life in the Kingdom of Hawaii, where he became Attorney General, but lost his job when the Prime Minister he was serving under was outed as a fraud. There's no justice. Jones was finally being punished for outrageous lies, and they weren't even his own.